Well, it's official. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The AI revolution is upon us, for the week at least. But at the end of the week, we had a hangover when it comes to AI. This, my friends, is a classic case of when to sell high. Now, the biggest opportunity of the week was not being invested at all, because today the S&P fell by 2.7%, the largest one-day drop since April. The NASDAQ down by 3.8%, the biggest one-day drop for the year. And who do we blame it on? You know who. Is it the Fed because they ain't lower rates in time? No. Is it the president because he came out with more tariffs? What? I thought we was done with that. No. Well, the reason why is because the market. It's not timing the market, it's timing the market. And we sold out of a lot of our clients' accounts on Monday, so they went down, but not nearly as much as the market. So today we're going to talk about the stock of the week, the worst performing stock, and the opportunity, maybe, of your investment lifetime. You ready? Let go.
You just wanna get paid. Tired of making the money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Yeah, pay for profits to help you seek change. And you just wanna get paid. Yeah, tired of making the money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Pay for profits to help you seek change. Yeah, cut the show and just listen. You wanna feel empowered by making money decisions. Residual by the hours can get you.
As always, before we get started, like, share, subscribe to our channel. In real life, I'm a certified financial planner, blessed to help thousands of people worldwide. And on these social media airways, we're giving game. And the game today is that pesky old market, but how we can take advantage of it. But before I drop the picks of the week, let's go over exactly what happened and why the market literally had its worst day of the year. Because of tariffs and because of the Fed saying, you know what? We might not lower rates at the end of the year after all. Now, everybody thought, and it was priced in the market, that the Fed would lower rates, if not in November, but in November and December. But it was a whisper that they're not going to lower rates at all because of what's going on with inflation. Inflation, not as easily to capture like the Fed hopes, so they might not lower rates at all. And when you price things into the market and you get that type of news, what happens? You unprice it. You rewind. And my friends, it rewound to the tune of the NASDAQ going down by 3.8%, worst day of the year. And again, the S&P 500 being down by 2.7%, the worst drop since April. But that doesn't stop though, because the stock of the week is AMD. Up in one day by 24% because they announced a major deal, major key alert, a major deal with OpenAI. And for those investors, you cannot invest in OpenAI, which is the owner of ChatGPT, because it's private. So how do we get in to the movement of OpenAI? Well, we do intel. And OpenAI said that the infrastructure is not enough overall when it comes to chips. And the deal with AMD is just the tip of the iceberg. Most economists think there's going to be more deals like this being made over the next 6 months, and AMD is happy. Proud to be an American company with NVIDIA, even though it is the stock of the decade, in my opinion, the stock of our lifetime, not so much because they're dealing with China right now. So AMD struck a deal, and because of that, their stock went up by 24% in one day. So do you think it's going to stop? It's going to slow down? Well, since OpenAI is the future, everybody uses ChatGPT. Google, for the past 2 months, have seen Google searches go down. For 20 plus years, every single month, more people Google than the month before. Now, for the last 2 months, people have done less searches because they're now going to ChatGPT. People 18 and younger go to ChatGPT more than they go to Google. That's a sign of the times, my friend. And the owner of it, OpenAI, since we can't invest into it, what's the next best thing? Either Microsoft because they own 49% of the company, or now AMD. All that, even though we have a government shutdown that it seems like is nowhere close from being solved. But with every investment, of course, is risk. If the execution is not good, then trouble. They're going to have more orders, more individuals wanting their chips instead of AMD. If they don't execute properly, if they don't implement properly, it's going to be a problem. So is AMD a buy? Well, past performance does not guarantee future results. I'm not here to give recommendation. I'm here to give information. Some individuals like it. Some might say it's overbought. I mean, what stock goes up by 24% in one day? The stock market on average makes 8% a year. AMD in one day made what the stock market does in 3 years. So extremely overbought. So might not want to buy because you're literally buying at a higher price than where it was this time last week for sure. But if it goes down, and if you believe in chips, if you believe in OpenAI, might be an investment that you want to look into. So that's the good stock of the week. But then we have the bad stock. And oh yes, this stock, my friends, bad. For the year, not so much. For the week, yes. And that stock is AppLovin. Not McLovin for my Napoleon Dynamite fans out there, but AppLovin, symbol APP. The reason why, in the words of 2 Chainz, I'll be fresh as hell when the Fed's watching. It ain't the Feds, but from an investment standpoint, the closest to the Feds is the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission. And they went snooping around to the point they opened up a probe. A probe is a gentleman's way to say, we are now investigating you because of data inaccuracies, cooking the books, stealing customer information when they're not supposed to. That is a fine. I'm coming. That, my friends, caused a lengthy and bad sell-off of their stock to the tune of 21% in one day. I buy AMD. I make 24% that day. I'm at Blovin. I'm down by 21. Not so good. Not so good at all. It bounced back up though. People said, oh, false flag alert. But then it slowly but surely went down. And then of course today, because of the NASDAQ being down by 3.8%, it went down like everything else. Now, this could also be a little bit of profit taking. I mean, it is up by 66% this year. Before this downturn, it was up at its peak at 84%. January 1st to the day being up by 84%, not so shabby. Being up by 66% still for the year, not so shabby. Again, with the market making 8% a year, this made 66% a year, my friends. It takes the market 8 years to make what it made in 10 months. Message is that it is overbought, and this drawdown, even though they had the probe, might be a good thing for investors. Now you're able to buy this at a 22% discount. So if it just gets back to where it was, that is a big old return over the tune of 35%. I would take that. But the risk is that this probe comes true and they are having bad data practices, doing what they're not supposed to do, selling your data, stealing your data, selling it again. My friends, that's not going to be good. So, yes, is that a deep discount? Typically, we buy stocks for our clients. We look at things that's down by 20% or more. So it meets the characteristics because it is trending up and it had a bump in the road. Not a recommendation or advice, just giving information. We have not bought it for our clients, not yet. Will we? We do not know. But AppLovin, because of the probe, because of the bad business that they allegedly done, down almost 20%. So, unfortunately, not the stock of the week, the loss of the week. But then we have the opportunity. That opportunity, my friends, I know I've talked about it time and time again. Time and time again for all my Killer Mike fans out there. I know Elon Musk. Politically, he's doing what he's doing. Not a political show. Showed about how to get you to the bag. Tesla, for the year, up by 9%, even though mid-year they went down by 34%. Pretty good. Tesla Last 30 days, up by 12%, beating the market. The momentum, crazy. But then Elon does what Elon does. And the price down for the week. Not as bad as the market, but down by 3.82%. Because they put those keys, the Tesla keys, saying, hey, we're going to reduce the price of the Model Y. And we're like, huh? When's it going to happen? But then it doesn't happen. You cannot tease your consumer base, the ones that are buying products from you, that you're going to do something that's going to give them more value to spend money and then not do it. Investors thinks that's a pump fake because it's some bad things, a lot of bad things going on under the hood of a Tesla. I know, I'm sorry. I'm not Drake, Drizzy, but I do have a Tesla. And I believe it's an opportunity because Tesla is not about cars. Small over the next 5 years. The big play, as I continue to say, is his robots. We all know the Jetsons. We all know Betty. We all know robots are here. They are going to be the number one provider in the next 5 years in-home robots. I said it before, I'll say it again, and look in the camera. Look at me. Look at me when I say this. Companies are all about productivity. Companies do not want to fire everybody either because that's bad press. Well, it's you getting a robot in your house. The reason why, because washing dishes, folding clothes, doing house chores, yard work, the things that you do, that you spend hours a day, hours out the week, now you can be more productive. Companies want you to be more productive. I believe that companies are actually going to lease robots on your behalf, where they take the money out of your paycheck to pay for a robot, in this case, Tesla robots. Now, that 8 to 10 hours a week that you're doing, washing clothes, folding clothes, washing dishes, putting up stuff, a robot can now do. So that 8 hours a week gives you now 8 more hours to work. 20% productivity just like that. And we all know when we're working, the juices are flowing, so we're probably going to be more productive. From a business standpoint, it's a tax write-off. My friends, they are going to be purchasing your robot. You're happy with the company because they're making your life a lot easier. They're happier, you're working more, and it costs them less money. And who's in the forefront of all these home robots? Tesla. Already right now, test pilots in LA and in Austin. Kim Kardashian, Kim K, with her Tesla robot she talks about all the time, shows it. This is the future. And just like Tesla 10 years ago was the future for electric cars, they're the future for home robots. Robot cutting your grass, is that going to save you money? It sucks for people doing lawn care. It's great for you. Doing your laundry, it's great for you. Being the maid so you don't have to pay for that cleaning service that's $500 a month, $6,000 a year that stays in your pocket, done. And Tesla's the forefront of that. So my friends, yes, Tesla's down. And yes, he teased the deduction of the Model Y that did not happen. Smokescreen. The real play is the Tesla robots. The question is, are you going to be with it or get rolled over by a Tesla Cybertruck? So there we have it. The stock of the week, AMD, might be the stock of the future because it allows you to get into OpenAI when you're not able to because it's private. The bad stock of the week, AppLovin, even though it's up by 66% this year, you guys, being down by 20%, that's bad. Is that an investment opportunity? Or because they've been stealing everybody's data? That's just a tip of the iceberg. We don't know. And the opportunity of the week, in my opinion, is Tesla. It going down is a buying opportunity, not a recommendation, not advice, just information. Everybody wants to buy the dip. Will the dip continue? I don't know. When we dip, we dip, we dip. We do not know. But I do know one thing. 5 years from now, productivity in the workforce is going to be not the same as we know it today. And Tesla, with their home robots, is giving companies the opportunity to have their employees be productive and not have all the backlash because they fired everybody. So like, subscribe, share to our channel. In real life, I'm a certified financial planner. We want to know, what do you think? Comment below. Great idea? Bad idea. That's what we're here to help. So in beautiful but rainy Jacksonville, let's make some painful or painless profits together, y'all. Peace.